Hello again. Today is when voters in the Yorkshire town of Batley, in the north of England, go to the polls. There was a time when the main topics which candidates would address during a by-election would be things such as local employment prospects, revitalising the town perhaps with investment, that sort of thing. After all, this used to be a mill town. Jobs are important to the citizens of Batley. The Labour Party, though, has chosen to focus not on things which affect people in Batley or even in Yorkshire, or come to that in England at all, but rather they want to focus on what is happening in a province 4,000 miles away, which lies between India and Pakistan. The thumbnail to this video shows Labour's election poster in Batley. It features, of all unlikely things, a photograph of Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India. What on earth does this have to do with a little Yorkshire town, you ask? The caption beneath the picture, which also shows Boris Johnson, makes everything clear. It reads, "A Prime Minister who is silent on human rights abuses in Kashmir." This is Labour's main concern in an English election: political affairs in the Indian subcontinent. Nothing could more clearly illustrate why many of us, me included, would not touch Labour with a barge pole these days. I have no use at all for Johnson and his cronies, but compared to Labour, well, the baffling thing about this poster is that it is completely irrelevant to anything which any normal person in this country is concerned with, including, I strongly suspect, the voters of Batley. Is Labour suggesting that a Labour MP would be able to deal with the long-standing crisis in Kashmir? It has been a bone of contention between India and Pakistan for over 70 years now. I don't think that the arguments over who owns Kashmir will be ending anytime soon. Unless, of course, the Labour candidate standing today in Batley has a new plan for solving the Kashmir crisis. She hasn't mentioned it in her speeches. The truth is that Labour are simply hoping to stir up racial discord in the town between Hindus and Muslims, which is a shockingly cynical and irresponsible thing for them to do. Mind that people living in Batley, that's roughly half of them, have their origins in India, Pakistan or Bangladesh. And they do seem more interested in foreign politics rather than what is going on in the country in which they are living. As well as Kashmir, Palestine is also a big topic in the town, with posters and banners about this all over the place. Labour isn't popular there because Keir Starmer's wife is Jewish and his children are being raised in accordance with Judaism. There's a lot of anti-Semitism among the Muslims there, so that also works against Labour. That an election in England should be contested around events in South Asia and the Middle East is an unfortunate state of affairs. That hatred of Jews should also be involved is regrettable as well. But then this is what England is like these days. There are so many foreigners about, it shouldn't really come as any surprise that they are more interested in what is happening in foreign countries rather than on their own doorstep. Many of these people have no allegiance at all to Britain, and their loyalty lies with Mecca and Islamabad rather than London. It's just the way that our political system runs now. It's because of electoral fraud, of course, among voters of Pakistani and Bangladeshi origin, that a new law is being passed, which will require us all to take our passports with us when we vote at the next election, so that we can prove our identity. Just imagine that, an Englishman voting in an English election will need a passport. Welcome to Britain in the 21st century.